Kevy's Corner, we're going to get a chance to talk to a gentleman who is scoring, that is making touchdowns, literally helping others make touchdowns in life, but he's making touchdowns too with life and making a great comeback. Stand by. Kevykev's Corner is coming up next. Kevy's Corner, I'm Kevykev, and so honored to have my next guest on. I tell you, this gentleman is doing it. He's doing it with his team on the field, coaching, and then he has a great story to talk about with his recovery from a kidney transplant and overcoming kidney disease. He's doing well, doing great with the team. So I want to welcome to the show Coach Isaac Akers at Lindenwood University. He is the quarterbacks coach. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Kevykev. How you doing?
Oh man, doing good. I can't complain. Have you on the show? I know we're doing good. Coach, you have a fascinating story. You're from the area. I would say the Missouri and the Illinois side, as you tell about your history and everything. Born in St. Louis. Of course, you spent a lot of time over on the Illinois side. I know at one time you lived in East St. Louis, Alton, Belleville, Collinsville, Edwardsville. Did I leave any of the villes out?
No, you got all the villes. You got all the villes.
Okay.
Granite City at one point.
Granite City, man.
Yeah.
I left Granite City. I left one of the cities out, Granite
been all
City.
over. Been all
Yeah,
over.
you've been all over. Of course, you were an outstanding high school football player up in Illinois, and then you go on, you play football at Greenville University, and then you get into coaching. So tell everybody about how it started for you, this level of football, and then where you are today coaching at Lindenwood.
I think I've had a passion for football as a kid. I've always loved the game. It's afforded me a ton of opportunity, but it taught me a lot growing up. I tell people football kind of raised me in a way. Taught me how to be a man, how to operate with integrity, but how to love your brother next to you. It's one of those special things, man. I got into coaching back in 2018 after I graduated. Took my first opportunity all the way in the good old state of Montana.
Yes.
And obviously being a young man from this local area going to Montana, I'm like, where am I going? I've never been out there, but that place, it was amazing. I learned a lot there. That's where I got my start. And that's what kind of set the foundation for kind of who I am as a coach today. So I was grateful to go out there to start my career.
Yeah, Montana. What was your school there?
Montana Tech University.
Montana Tech, and
yes, sir.
And let's face it, you were a really young guy to come right out of college and then get to coaching college. How special? Tell us about how that even happened like that.
You know, it's a great thing, Kevykev. It's a lot of guys that graduate. That's kind of how they start. They either become GAs or QCs or entry-level roles, and I was fortunate to get one of those, and those don't come easy. You in the profession, you got to know somebody. It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Brian Friner, who I played for at Upper Iowa University, knew the offensive coordinator at Montana Tech, so that's kind of how I ended up out in Montana, and then my career just kind of went from there, to be honest.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, you look at this resume: Eastern Kentucky, Liberty University, Texas A&M.
Kingsville.
Yes,
sir.
I mean, you're a young guy to have. I mean, you got quite a resume with the college coaching experience.
Yeah, it's just me having a drive, man. I'm passionate about the game. I love the game, but it's afforded me opportunity to see the country. Football is a small world, but it's big all over the United States. So I've been fortunate to be in the programs that I've been in, but most importantly, to come across the people that I've come across. So I'm very lucky to have the opportunities that I've had, for sure.
No question about that. And like I say, you look at this coaching resume that you have, and I also know that you were very close with a dear friend of mine and this whole metropolitan area of St. Louis, and of course talking about Demetrius Johnson. I know he played a big role with you in some of your coaching opportunities.
Yeah, Demetrius Johnson, Jim Collins, Mike Jones, even. Those guys, when I first got into coaching, they kind of took me under their wing, especially Jim Collins and Demetrius Johnson. They had a previous relationship with my father, Jesse Akers.
Yes.
What's up, Dad? Shout out to my dad, Jesse
Yes,
Akers.
Yeah.
Some of y'all know him as the ref that be throwing flags for no reason. But they had a previous relationship with him, and they were like, we know your son has gotten into coaching. We're gonna look out for him, and it just just cover him, while he's out here. And that's what they've done. And I can say throughout my career, St. Louis coaches, people from St. Louis have really had my back. And so I'm grateful for that. And those guys took me under their wing, showed me the ropes. And one of the things that they vowed to me was, hey, man, you always treat the kids right. You always go the extra mile in your job, don't half step, give it all you got, and I took that and ran with it. And I think that's why I've been afforded just some of the opportunities that I've had.
Oh, no question about it. Like you say, you mentioned, of course, Demetrius Johnson, Jim Collins, Coach JC, of course, a longtime coach assistant now over at Carlton Ritter, and of course, Mike the Tackle Jones.
Yes, sir.
That's some great company that you certainly have been in the presence of, and that's
Yes,
really
sir.
special. We also know that you had a really traumatic health situation occur in your life. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so in 2019, when I was coaching at Eastern Kentucky, during the season, I suddenly thought I had what I felt was a cold. Then I had a coworker, Billy Kirkendall. Shout out to Billy. He's at Western Michigan right now. Billy was like, man, either you go to urgent care or I'm going to go say something. He was like, I think there's seriously something wrong. And so I went to urgent care. Urgent care sent me right over to the ER. Once I got to the ER, man, next thing I knew, I had 2 IVs in my arms. And I'm just getting pumped with medications and all this stuff. It was happening so fast. I'm like, what is going on? Doctor comes in and says to me, hey, man, I don't know necessarily what's wrong with you, but I think you should call your family. And I'm no genius, but I was like, call my family. This must be serious. And so his thing was, you need to call your family because I don't know what the next 72 hours looks like. Like it's undetermined. And he was like, you're in a very rough spot. Like this is very unpredictable. So I reached out to my family. I knew it was serious when my grandmother, Patricia Akers, grandma don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
But for her to drive 6 hours all the way to Kentucky to come and see me, that's when I knew how serious this was. And her big thing was, and we all have the women in our lives that can lay eyes on us and know that if we're going to be okay or not. My grandma was like, I just need to lay eyes on him. And when she saw me, she was like, he's going to be okay. So yeah, that was quite a moment to find out probably about a day after that I had kidney failure. At the time, I didn't know necessarily what that meant. So my mindset was, hey man, write the prescription, send me to Walgreens, I'll take the medicine, I'm gonna go back out to the field. And the doctor expressed to me, no man, your life is gonna change a little bit. It's not gonna be the same. You're not gonna be able to just up and do what you've been doing before.
Right. And so you had to begin dialysis?
Mm-hmm. At 25,
At
24 years
okay,
old.
Okay.
I started doing what they call hemodialysis, where you go into a facility and you kind of sit around other people doing treatment. And I tell you what, that was one of the most humbling, eye-opening things that when somebody tells me they're on dialysis now, my heart aches for them. Because there have been people that I've sat in these facilities with that I've had conversations with while going through the treatment, and then the next treatment, they're not there.
Okay.
And I asked, well, where's Mr. or Mrs. such and such? And they're like, well, man, they passed because they were either elderly or their bodies, they were so sick that they couldn't handle the treatments. So that experience for me was it was scary, but it was for sure eye-opening. It made me have a different, not only appreciation, but care for people who are kind of going through that.
Absolutely. And so you had a transplant.
I did. I had a transplant this past December, December 23rd, 2025. So I was on dialysis for 6 years while coaching, which is something that I tell you what, it was a challenge, but me knowing what I know and learning what I've learned in the game of football, that kind of helped me push. Now, I'll be honest, the level that I was pushing to continue coaching, it put my health at risk. And it put my family in a tough spot because my family just wanted me to get better. And what I was wrestling with was I wanted my life to be as normal as possible. It took a long time for me to accept the fact that I was that severely sick. So the biggest thing that I would say to doctors is I want my life to be as normal as possible. Well, it got to a point to where we were out of normal and we're looking at a recipe for disaster. Um, my wake-up call that I needed to really lock in on getting healthy was in 2022. I'll never forget it. I was coaching at Edwardsville High School. Man, I had kidney failure. I had developed vascular necrosis. For people that don't know what that is, that's when the bones in your hips die. So you have no blood flow, no oxygen going to those bones, so your ball joints deteriorate. So here I am coaching football, ironically coaching the running backs, and I can't hardly walk. I'm walking with a cane. I had gotten really thin. I just was not in a good place. And my little brother, who at the time I think he was 9, started asking family members, is Isaac going to die? And that's when my family, came to me and they were like, listen, you have a ton of nieces and nephews who I adore so much. And then my little brother, they're all asking, what is wrong with Uncle Isaac, or what is wrong with him? And is he going to make it? And so when I heard that, that made me finally lock in on, man, I got to get better. Like, football's going to be here, but I won't have to worry about football if I ain't here.
Right.
And then the bigger thing was, man, the kids in my family, my nieces, nephews, little brother, my family in general, I was like, man, I don't want to put them through this. I don't want them to talk about me in past tense. So, man, that situation forced me to go to God, because that was the best doctor.
Yeah.
There wasn't a human being on this planet, because at that time I'm looking at, I think, 6 or 7 major surgeries ahead of me. So I'm like, okay, God, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
And you talk about praying, and it was just like revealed to me one at a time. I just need you to be a spiritual warrior here. You gonna make it through. God assured me I was gonna make it through.
Yeah.
But he was like, I need you to be a spiritual warrior. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to be tough. You're gonna have to be strong. And boy, did I have to be. So I continued coaching, coached high school ball for a couple years, was at Edwardsville, then went to Civic Memorial in Bethalto. Shout out to the Eagles. That place is awesome. Edwardsville is awesome too. Edwardsville's home. But then, something cool happened, because I wasn't sure. I had always said, if I get healthy, I'll get back into college football. That's where my heart is. And then while I was still sick in 2024, Lindenwood reached out. Dusty Havorka, our offensive coordinator. So he's actually the OC and quarterback coach. I'm the quarterback's QC, so I work under him.
Okay.
And he reached out to me, and he was just like, hey, I've heard about you, got your information. He was referenced, he heard about me from a guy named Al Garcia. And that's what it goes back to. It's all about who you know. Me and
Relationships.
Right. So me and Al Garcia worked together at Montana Tech. So I've known Al for like 9 years now. Shout out to Mirabelle. That's his daughter. So Mirabelle is my goddaughter.
Okay.
And so she's another one that, when I was trying to get healthy, would cross my mind. It's amazing how kids have an impact on you.
Yeah.
So I took the job at Lindenwood in 2024, and being there, being around the players, being around the coaches, gave me a purpose to continue to get healthy.
Gotcha.
So it was last summer, 2025 summer, man. This is a summer I'll never forget. And a fun fact, the 2024 season, I actually coached that season blind in my right eye. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
When you have kidney failure, there's a trickle effect that kind of comes with everything. And you just kind of gradually, it's more so you trying to manage it until you get a transplant. So 2025, I had decided this summer I'm going to complete all of my surgeries. So this is what I had ahead of me. I had a right hip replacement, which had already been replaced. It re-slipped, so I had to get that redone. I had a throat surgery, a parathyroid gland removal, and then after those, I would be cleared to get the kidney. So I tried to get those surgeries done within almost a month and a half of each other.
Wow.
Well, for those of you that don't know, when you go under anesthesia that many times in that tight of a window, it's very dangerous for your body. Here I was trying to push because I was determined that the 2025 season, I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to do dialysis. I'm not going to live the way I was living. This is going to be different. Well, July 23rd, 2025, I got a call for a kidney. And I went in and I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the finish line. We're here. And man, I went in there and Kevykev, and I had a bad feeling. There's not really anything on this earth that scares me, but for some reason I had an uneasy feeling about this day. And I went in for surgery, man, and next thing I know, I'm waking up with a breathing tube in my throat. Like, I can't talk. I can't hardly move. Like, I was like, this doesn't feel right. My upper body was really sore. Well, the doctor comes in, they take the breathing tube out my throat, and they say, hey, we almost lost you on the table today. And I was like, how? Like, what happened? And they were like, your heart is tired. Your body's tired. Your body's like weak. And so my family was there at the hospital, and obviously it gave them a significant scare. But it was another reality check for me that time is fragile. It's like glass, it can easily break. You know, so in that moment, I knew my little brother was at the hospital. And so my immediate reaction was, I just want to go home, play video games with him. Not more so because I wanted to play video games. I wanted my little brother to know that I was okay.
You're okay.
Yeah, that I was good. So they kept me overnight. I got up the next morning and I left, went home. And so once I finally got time to kind of just reflect and think, you know, I had to pray because it was like, man, we're so close to the finish line. What happened? And so little did I know, Kevykev, I needed that 6 months spiritually. I really needed it to lock in on my relationship with God, lock in on my faith, but to heal from a lot of things. Because the thing is, it's like, you can't get this new kidney, you can't receive this new blessing and then bring the old baggage with you. So I had to face those things. I had to face some wrongs. I had to face the wrongs that were done to me, but I had to forgive. The point was to forgive, because this new shot at life, that's what it is. It was almost like, in a way, a baptism without touching water. Because, you got this new engine now. So what I did, Kevykev, is when I got the call for the transplant on December 22nd, I said, okay, you know what? I need to see if my faith is for real. And what I did was, man, I told my family, hey, I got the call, but I don't want anybody to show up. And my family, of course, is like, boy, you've lost your mind. And I was like, listen, this surgery almost killed me 6 months ago, but I need to see if my faith is for real. So it's just going to be me and God in this thing. And so I went, took myself to Barnes Jewish Hospital, went in there by myself, man, listened to music, hung out, had a good time. And I think the cool thing, Kevykev, was that all the same people were there from the first attempt. And I remember right before I went into surgery, the surgeon says to me, she looks at me, she goes, hey, we're going to get this right this time. And then, man, I went in there, woke up, and my thing was, this was my mindset. If I'm a man of faith like I say I am, worst case scenario, this surgery doesn't go the way it should and I end up in eternity with God. If I'm a man of faith like I say I am. The other case is I wake up and I find out he's not done with me here. Now, I did leave God a disclaimer. Hey, man, Earth is cool. You know, they got a football fields down here. They got trees. Like, it's nice down here. But, you know, I put my mind in the sense of it's a win-win situation. Okay? My heart is clear. My heart is pure. I'm good. So I went in there with peace, man. But I ain't gonna lie, when I woke up, boy, I was happy because I was like, I got more to do down here.
I'm still here. He's not finished with me.
Absolutely. And, man, just from that point, I've been grateful. Learning this version of myself, you know, because I spent 6 years, you know, life living around a dialysis machine, coaching around a dialysis machine. So even now, man, sometimes I stay late in the office just because I can. You know, I didn't have that luxury before. There are two guys I want to shout out. They're actually here with us today, and that's Big Tay and Ethan. Those guys, they're student assistants for us, but they're also equipment guys. And I want to shout them out because what a lot of people don't know is when you're coaching football and you're on dialysis, you got to take a machine with you everywhere.
Yeah.
And these guys, man, they knew that I was trying to keep up with football stuff, so they would make sure that my machine either made it on the bus or on the plane. And you got to call ahead. You got to have solutions delivered to hotels. They would make sure it got to my hotel room. Like, these guys really made sure that, you're coaching football, but Coach Akers, we got to make sure you stay on top of your health. Because I think that incident last summer was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Not only for me, but to those close to me. So now, man, I don't take life for granted.
No,
It's making me a better football coach, making me an even better person, but most importantly, making me a better man of God. So anybody that try to tell me God ain't real, I'm gonna tell you, you a lying, you a fool. Because I'm a living witness.
Oh man, yes you are. Well, that's Coach Akers, and man, it's been an honor to have you on. And by the way, we did get to meet your two equipment assistants on the staff, the athletic staff there. Yeah. Some outstanding young men. Got a chance to meet them myself, and I see why you are so proud of them for sure.
Yes,
as we wrap it up, what would you say to someone as it relates to two things: going through a kidney situation like you, and then also about someone maybe donating their kidney and organs. What would you say on those two topics?
To people donating, I would say you're a big blessing. Finding a kidney that matches is a very hard process. When you actually do get a match, man, it's a blessing. Fortunately, I was fortunate to get two matches. Okay. Depending on where you live, kind of dictates how long your wait will be. They advise people to go to bigger regions. Sometimes they advise you to go get on a list in multiple places, just so you can get a kidney quicker. To those that are sick, dealing with kidney failure or any type of health, here's what I would say. I would say lock into your faith. God is the best doctor. He's the best therapist. He's the best support system that you're going to have. And he'll be the most understanding. People, they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they haven't experienced. I dealt with a lot of people because they knew me as Isaac, the football player, telling me, oh, man, you're good. Just get up. You can beat this. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This thing's got a hold on me.
Yeah.
So when I, and there's a couple people that I do want to shout out, but these two in particular, man, because these guys hold me accountable. These are my friends, and one of them is my buddy down at Auburn, Vontrell King Williams. He's the D-line coach there, and then my boy Javon Hubbard. He's at Morehouse, and then I got Charles DeLoach and Thomas Dexter. I got a ton of friends. I don't want to miss anybody, so I should have even said names, but you guys know who you are that are close to me.
Sure.
But I've had a village of people come around me, and the first guys that I mentioned, they got on me for not telling them where I was at health-wise.
Sure.
And so one of the biggest things that I would tell people is, man, when people want to have your back and love you, let them. Because what I learned is when you don't, it hurts them more than it hurts you. I was one of those people, I just didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to, make people's life more difficult. But then I realized when people wanted to help, they wanted to understand, they wanted to know what I was going through because they cared.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I kind of messed that one up. So any lesson from that, I would tell people, man, let people have your back. Let them love you and let your village form. I had a village of people out here and didn't even know it. And then everybody finds out I had a kidney transplant, and now my phone is buzzing like crazy. Man, I didn't even know you were sick.
Yeah.
And I tell them, well, I was hiding it. Yeah. But here's what I will say, Kevykev. I wish I would have communicated with them, but I don't regret the time that I had with God, just me and him.
Amen.
I don't regret that because I tell you what, he's real.
He's real. You said it. He is real.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I just want to just continued blessings to you, and I'm so
Oh, man,
grateful
thank you.
for your blessings. God has been with you and continues to bless you and your health. You back on the field. We're all going to be looking out for Lindenwood and how they're going to do this year. Division I football is in St. Louis. And man, just continued blessings and wonderful health and success to you at Lindenwood University.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Kevykev.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. That is an inspirational story. You got it from Coach Isaac Akers, telling you about his faith and his health, where he has been, and of course, his love of coaching football. And he's right now at Lindenwood University. They're getting set for the 2026 season, and we're going to see him out there with his Lions. All right. I'm Kevykev. Thanks for being with us and checking us out. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media, and we'll talk to you next time on Kevy's Corner.